What is going on, Multiversers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got ourselves a little bit of a patch note video. I know patch note doesn't seem legit, right? Well, this is coming from Tony himself, who is answering more questions in Discord, giving us a little bit of insight as to some of the changes from Tech Test 2 to the upcoming closed alpha. Now again, I know not everyone was in Tech Test 2 and not everyone will get into the closed alpha. Hopefully many of us do with referral codes and stuff like that. But Tony gives us a little bit of insight as to some changes. So here's what we can kind of look forward to for some characters at least. And the first one that we got here, Tony was basically told us internally Steven was the strongest character, and Tony thinks he wasn't utilized correctly in Tech Test 2, so they removed a lot of near infinites on Steven. Now, as we know, Steven is a support character, so this, to me, it seems like Steven was too much of an offensive threat. Like, I think they're really going to be playing their specific roles. We got support, we got assassin, we got bruiser, we got a tank, we got mage. Those are the 5 that we know of. I don't know if there's going to be any more in the future, but there's 5. So if they have a specific, type like Steven does with his support character, he can't be the offensive one. He can't be the one that's absolutely dominating. He's got to be more supportive, and I think maybe that's kind of what went wrong. Maybe some attacks were dealing too much damage, or maybe they didn't have enough knockback, which allowed Steven to continuously, I don't know, keep attacking, move into move. Maybe he was pretty easy character to combo with or something like that, but looks like at least Tony thinks Steven wasn't utilized correctly. But I guess we'll have to see how he plays out once the closed alpha starts in just a few days. And on to the next one, we got a question about Shaggy and his sandwich. And that question was, is Shaggy's sandwich any faster? And they're referring to, I guess Shaggy has a move where he pulls out a sandwich and he throws it at somebody. Seems weird because Shaggy doesn't waste food, but, I digress. Whatever, no big deal, not nitpicking here, but Shaggy has a sandwich. So is the sandwich any faster? And Tony says raged sandwich is even slower now, but it goes through projectiles and enemies. So sandwich is a projectile itself, and he says raged sandwich. Now, interestingly, we do know, and we've seen it many times, Shaggy can rage up and, power up himself, right? To his Ultra Instinct meme, right? That's kind of what his moveset is kind of based off of, right? From what we've seen. So the raged sandwich is even slower. So I'm guessing once he rages up, I'm assuming that has to power up pretty much every attack that Shaggy has. So I'm guessing the regular sandwich will not go through projectiles. So if Shaggy's not powered up, if he's not raged up, the sandwich itself won't go through projectiles and it won't go through enemies. So regular one might just, break apart, just kind of like die off once it hits the first thing in its way. But if he's raged up and he throws the sandwich, then it looks like he's got slower move speed, but it will go through other incoming projectiles and other enemies. So the sandwich, this could be somewhat of a very interesting sort of attack, sort of move. I can't wait to see what people are able to do with this once the alpha releases. Now we got another one. This one has to do with Raindog, and somebody asked about Raindog's ground side B attack. For the life of me, I cannot tell you what that attack is. I have no clue. But somebody said that they couldn't find a use for it during the last test. And Tony at least tells us Raindog got a buff, right? So Raindog's grounded side B, whatever that might end up being, it got buffed. It armor breaks now. So I guess, I don't know. Is it a physical attack? I don't know what kind of attack it is, but Raindog getting some buffs, I suppose. Maybe Raindog didn't come out. Again, I think Raindog's the other support character that we know of so far, so maybe, unlike Steven, where we talked about how Steven seemed to be maybe misused and maybe Steven was a bit too powerful, maybe Raindog was on the other scale where some of his attacks might not have been living up to what they should be, because, again, this game is kind of based around 2v2, but you also got to be able to hold yourself in 1v1s as well. So if Raindog's entirety is supporting another character, how's he going to support himself in a 1v1? So hopefully, this buff for Raindog, hopefully it pays off, and got to give him a try at least, right? Got to give every character a try. Next up has to do with armor attacks. Now, here's what Tony tells us. All armor attacks use up dodge meter. Okay, interesting. But if you are out of dodge meter, your attack doesn't have armor. So this hits Superman. I'm guessing he's saying this is like a nerf to Superman in a way, because Superman's kind of like flying everywhere. So if Superman's dodging, I'm assuming the dodge meter, every character's got to have a dodge meter, right? So if the character dodges, this meter ends up draining faster. And if you're out of the dodge meter, your attack doesn't have armor anymore. So you can be interrupted is what I'm getting by that. So if all this plays out and you go for an attack and you're out of dodge meter, your opponent will be able to interrupt your incoming attack, and then they can kind of go for whatever they want to. I mean, heck, if their dodge meter's full, well, then they got armor, right? So this is kind of interesting. I want to play around with this. I got to see what this is all about. Armor attacks. Is this kind of like super armor, basically? That's what I'm guessing. So I can't wait to find out. But yeah, armor attacks use up dodge meter. Whatever that might mean, let's find out. Next up is all about Bugs Bunny. So this was one of the few characters I think I'm looking forward to playing so far. So this one caught my attention, where Tony tells us Bugs got some utility, but lowered his kill power. So I'm not sure. The few attacks that do come to mind, I know we've seen the mallet from the reveal trailer, and we've seen a baseball bat, which I believe is his up air. So maybe, I'm guessing maybe those. He does have the rocket as well. We've seen the Acme rocket, so maybe some of those have a little bit too much KO power, so maybe that's what they kind of like lowered a bit. So maybe the knockback isn't as much as it was during Tech Test 2. Not quite sure, but he does say Bugs got some utility. Doesn't mention what that was though, but interesting nonetheless. Bugs maybe was a kill power. I don't know. What is Bugs? Is he a bruiser? I think Bugs is a bruiser technically. So shouldn't bruisers kind of be dealing a whole lot of damage? So wouldn't that kind of, I don't know. It's something we'll have to play around with. But apparently Bugs, his kill power got lowered, and he got some utility of some sort. Moving on to the next topic. This one has to do with Arya Stark and her face steal ability. Now we know Arya Stark's, one of her unique perks is called Face Stealer. We've seen this before. So Tony answered the question of any face steal changes. So any changes to the unique ability, or unique perk, I should say. Tony says no, because without changes, Reese Lived, one of the devs for Player First Games, found some crazy stuff with it that makes it really good. Doesn't explain what that crazy stuff might be. I guess that's what we got to play around with, but I guess Face Steal has some really strong capabilities for something. Well, I know we've seen it in action a little bit. Her Face Steal ability allows her to transform into, I believe it's the character she's fighting, and that could allow for some crazy combos. I'm not sure how it really works, but I guess the good news coming out of this, if you were a part of Tech Test 2 and you played Arya and you like the Face Steal ability, don't worry, there's no changes. So if you found it really good, then good for you. And if you think it was underpowered, well then, I guess, sorry, it's not getting buffed. But I don't know if it needed a buff. I don't know if it needed a nerf. But either way, it didn't get changed. So, and one of the devs said they found some crazy stuff with it. So apparently it's really good. And last but not least, Tony just letting us know that Shaggy's very strong right now. And we did see him don Shaggy during the gameplay trailer, or gameplay clip from last week. So Shaggy looking to be pretty strong. Maybe one of the easier characters to pick up. Maybe he's one of the easier characters just to learn how to play. So we seen that Captain Falcon knee, right? That forward air Shaggy was doing. Tony was putting that move to work. He was getting a lot of KOs with that. So interesting to see Shaggy. I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Shaggy for obvious reasons, but I gotta try him out as well. Gotta try him out myself. I mean, if we only have the alpha, closed alpha, and if I get in, it's only like 8 days. That's a lot of characters to try out in 8 days, but Shaggy definitely gonna be one of them, and apparently Shaggy's pretty powerful, so we'll see after the closed alpha. Is he too powerful? Does he need a nerf? Or is he just fine? And he's only using his 0.0002% power, whatever that is. But that is going to be it for this one. Just a little insight as to some changes and some insight for some characters from Tony himself. Either way, that is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see ya when I'm looking at ya.